Today we continue in the depth chart looking at our tight ends. Let's talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking this video. Yo, check out this bomber. Old school bubbles on here. It's pretty slick. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's not mine. So one of my best friends yesterday comes up and he's looking at me and he's wearing this bomber. And he's like, bro, you gotta wear this in your next video. I was like, obviously. So he took it off, handed it to me, and that's what we're doing. I'm wearing the old school bomber for today's episode. So Josh, this one goes out to you. Tomorrow morning, May 29th, 11 a.m. Eastern, you can catch me here on Let's Talk Lions live. It's just a live session where you bring your coffee, I bring mine, we hash it out, talk a little bit about the Lions, talk about whatever's on your mind. I heard Tori Petrie is moving on. She's no longer going to be the Detroit Lions reporter. If that's the case, I'm not going to lie. If you guys just want to hit up the Detroit Lions through all the social media platforms and be like, yeah, check out this guy Jay. He likes the Lions. He likes Lord of the Rings. He can talk about anything you want. D&D. Throw him in there. I would happily accept. Let's move forth in today's episode, break down the tight end room. Now, for those of you who do not know, most teams run with 3 tight ends on the active roster. From there, they'll have 1, maybe 2 on the practice squad. The first tight end on the roster is the guy who can do it all. He can catch, he can block, he knows what he's doing, he's excellent at what he does. He's your number 1. It's your TJ Hockenson. Well, when you look at the tight end 2 position, that's a guy who's really out there to be laying blocks. That's more of his specialty. And then tight end 3 is sort of the mixture of the two together. The weaving, one could say. The tight end 3 is also used on special teams a lot. And so really you have 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to kind of look at our roster right now and break it down. All the tight ends that we have so far on the Detroit Lions roster are TJ Hockenson, Darren Fells, Hunter Thedford, Alize Mack, Brock Wright, Charlie TT Showbiz, and Jake Hausmann. Let's kick it off with TJ Hockenson. The first thing to note is this is pretty much the best, if not the only thing that really came out of the Bob Patricia era. Like, out of everything that happened, when I look, the number one thing that I could point to that I am most satisfied with, that I'm like, wow, that was actually a good move, it was the drafting of TJ Hockenson. Hockenson is a stud. I mean, he proved it this year with being named to the Pro Bowl. When you look at his stats overall, from his rookie season into his sophomore season, all that he was able to accomplish, Hockenson really stepped it up. I'm not going to go too deeply into it because I put out a video all about his evolution from that rookie to sophomore year. You could actually check it out up here. All the numbers you could ever want. But that kind of goes through the evolution of him as a rookie into this second year. Kind of like Charmander becoming Charizard. And you're like, well, what about Charmeleon? Obviously, you gotta have that middle stage. But I mean, look at what Ash did in Indigo League. He was just like, oh, and then it became Charizard because he needed the help. And then friggin' Charizard doesn't even listen to him for 50 episodes. I'm not going to get into that. That still drives me insane. In brief, his 2019 stats show that he was 32 for 59. He put up a total of 367 yards, averaging at about 11.5 yards per reception. He put up 2 TDs, and he amassed a total of 19 first downs. Well, you compare that to 2020, and you see a significant difference. He ends up going 67 for 101, amassing 723 yards. So you're looking at about 10.8 yards per reception, 6 TDs, and 40 first downs converted. That is a huge difference. There's a reason why he was named to the Pro Bowl. He really proved that he is an incredible tight end and will only develop and get better. He just looked a lot more confident out there. In fact, he kind of talked about it. I watched an interview with him from just a couple days ago, and he talked about the rookie year, that everything seemed to be moving so fast in the NFL compared to college. He said that this sophomore year, this second year, it seemed like everything began to slow down, and he was able to catch the pace of the game. And you really see it in his play style and how much he adjusted coming into this season. Moving on to the tight end 2 position, we have Darren Fells. Now, this is interesting. We obviously signed Josh Hill. Josh Hill decided, nah, I feel like going to the boardwalk with the family. And we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We go out and we get Darren Fells. Now, this move was, when you look at our tight end room, it's a lot of young guys, a lot of young bucks. Well, Darren Fells has been in the NFL since 2014. He was with Arizona for 3 seasons, I believe. He comes to Detroit in 2017. He then goes to Cleveland. He goes to Houston, and now he's back in Detroit. Our guy is a vet. He has experience, and he is solid when it comes to laying blocks. That's why he's in the tight end 2 position. Just a solid number 2 guy to have in the locker room, to have that experience to teach to younger guys, and to get out there, use his grit, use his size, and make the play. Now, jockeying for the tight end 3 position is what's going to be most interesting. We have a few names left on the board here. You're looking at Elise Mack, Hunter Thedford, Charlie T, and then undrafted free agents, Jake Hausmann and Brock Wright. That's what, 4 or 5 guys right there. Some of my thoughts are as follows. Alize Mack. Elise Mack was actually drafted by New Orleans back in round 7 just a few years ago. I believe it was 2019. And so Dan Campbell knows him, right? Dan Campbell, tight end coach for New Orleans. This is his guy. This is a guy that he knows. And no, Mack hasn't seen any gameplay yet. However, he has been working with New Orleans for the past few years. Campbell knows him. It's his guy, bringing him in. Kind of reminds me of Dean Marlowe, Sean McDermott up in Buffalo. I think Campbell's just given his guy a shot here. I don't know if he'll make the tight end 3 position this year. However, I do see him on the practice squad. When looking at both of these guys, you're looking at some big boys, specifically Hunter Thedford. Thedford is 6'7", and he's 260 some odd pounds. Like, that's a big man. Imagine that guy laying waste, laying blocks out on the field. I just can't even. Woof. Solid height, solid weight, can do some damage and create some serious mismatches. And that's another thing, even looking at Charlie T. He's shorter than Thedford. However, that size is also creating mismatches. Then you've got your UDFAs, beginning with Jake Hausmann. Hausmann was the 3rd string tight end for Ohio State. He played a lot of special teams and he laid some serious blocks. You're going to see the exact same thing with Brock Wright. Brock Wright is a young guy out of Notre Dame, and he's great on special teams and also laying blocks. You see them, they're almost interchangeable in that, and so it's really going to be the 2 of them duking it out, trying to get that practice squad, if not tight end 3 position, specifically because of their special teams experience. All in all, when I look at this tight end room, I see a ton of player development that needs to transpire. A ton of it. We know we've got Hawkinson at the tight end 1 spot. We know what he can do. He's a Pro Bowler. He will be. Hawkinson is a stud. He's got it locked up. That tight end 2 spot feels like it's Darren Fells due to his experience, due to his veteranship. Maybe veteranship. Yeah, we're just going to stick with experience. That's what we're doing. Due to that experience, I think Darren Fells has the tight end 2 spot locked up, at least for now, for this season. He'll have that. He'll be that guy. And then really, it's that tight end 3 spot that I see a lot of jockeying for. I think either Hunter Thedford or Charlie T get that tight end 3 spot. I think between the 2 of them, specifically their sizes, the mismatch that it creates, what they come equipped with, one of those guys will be tight end 3. And then the one that does not make that will go over to the practice squad along with Alize Mack. I think Elise Mack is Dan Campbell's guy. I think he's bringing him in, giving him a shot, and he will be on the practice squad this season. That's just my thought. When I look at our tight end room, there is a ton that needs to be done, a ton of development that needs to be had. 1 and 2 are good to go, but 3 and practice squad, a lot of work needs to be done here. It's a young crew. Other than Darren Fells, everybody's played maybe 3 years or less. There's not a lot of experience in that. And from that standpoint, a ton of player development is going to need to be had. That is the tight end room for Detroit coming into this season. How do you guys feel about it? If you had to give it a letter grade, what is it? Drop it in the comments. I look forward to reading it. And as always, I'll catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.